Great. Welcome. It is 7:34. We're going to start our meeting. Trustee Fritchie will be joining us momentarily.
Trustee White. Deputy Mayor Lopez.
Live and in person here.
Thank you, sir. And Mayor Levin.
Here.
Okay. Mayor and trustee announcements.
Anybody have announcements?
I have something,
Yep.
and I'm only going to say that this week because I'm not going to be here probably next week. And this happens, well, this Sunday, Earth Day Festival,
Saturday.
on this Saturday,
Saturday from 10 to 6.
Earth Day Festival. Okay, Engle Park. Then the weekend after this, coming weekend, will be a series of Jane's walks around the village. Jane Jacobs was an urbanist, author, and community champion who believed in walkable neighborhoods and community-driven planning. She was the nemesis of Robert Moses in New York City. And there are Jane's walks all over the world. And one of our residents, Brian Gronoff, has organized a group of Jane's walks here for the first weekend in May. And on Friday, May 1st at 6:30, there'll be the history of Camp Woods grounds. Sunday, May 3rd at 11. I've been pulled out of retirement as a historian and pressed into service. And I will be doing downtown Ossining, past, present, and future. And that will be Sunday, May 3rd at 11. And we'll meet downtown. And then also Sunday, May 3rd at 1, Dale Cemetery Heritage Trail, which is which will have a focus on revolutionary citizens interned in Dale Cemetery. And then also Sunday, May 3rd at 1 will be the Sparta Historic District Tour with Alan Stahl. So there should be something in there that interests everybody.
So we want to thank Brian Gronoff again. He is part of the O250 Super Duper Committee, which Jamie Hoffman is very involved in. Keeping track of the many events we have in this. The Jane Walk actually came out of one of those conversations where Brian raised his hand and now has brought it in that weekend. So it's going to have like a revolutionary historical tinge to it, which will be amazing. Everything's free that you talked about, right? Earth Day, this. Right. Doesn't mean you shouldn't go to all of our local businesses and buy a whole bunch of stuff when you go on the walk or when you come to Earth Day, et cetera, et cetera. Highly encourage. Great. You covered it all. Oh, we have on Friday at is it 1:30, Jamie? I have to look at my calendar. Friday, the Nelson Sitting Park. We have the Arbor Day celebration with the planting of a tree. 1:30, probably is about an hour. Again, all are welcome. Lots of great activities going on. So we welcome everyone in this wonderful village. We're ready to get started.
Administrative reports. Village Manager Karen Totori.
Good evening, everyone. So tonight's big news is I just came from a community engagement session down at Here Coffee and Beer, talking about proposed zoning changes to the Station Plaza neighborhood. And it was well attended. Maddie is still there. It's going till 8 o'clock, so she's not going to be joining us tonight, but well attended and as the board knows, and for anybody who's watching, this is really an exercise in making sure we get zoning right. And there have been various discussions over the last few years about zoning in the Station Plaza neighborhood, which is right on the east side of the train tracks. So it's Water Street, Ecor Road, that area. And it was an interesting conversation. A lot of people from the neighborhood, different points of view, talks about the benefits of high density transit-oriented housing, as well as the desire to keep neighborhoods intact, as Jane Jacobs would have advocated for. So it was a good exercise. You can still send comments. We will have the boards online and we'll push out some information. And subsequent to getting those comments and us filing them, we will then make sure that they're incorporated in our presentation to the board. And other than that,
They don't want to go because they understand how scintillating this meeting is going to be.
have a good evening. Thanks for coming. I was off Monday and Tuesday and came back to find that our beloved peace sign was plowed down. But
The talk of
I
the
have-
town all
I-
day today.
I have heard thank you for the police handling everything, and thankfully nobody was hurt except our beloved peace sign. But I have heard that DPW restoring peace village and all will be well. So
He's just
you
tired too.
can check with our
There's a lack of
director
peace.
about that. Well, he is here tonight as well. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Corporation Counsel, Stuart Kahan.
Nothing tonight, Sue. Thank you.
Police Chief Aaron Zimmerman.
Good evening. I don't have too much to share, but we went live with our riveting new RMS software system, probably the most utilized piece of software we have in the building. But we just switched from about 23 years of using the old one, so going through some growing pains, but change is good.
You want to say what that stands for and what it is?
It's a record management system, RMS. So it's what generates all of our police reports, arrest reports, case reports. Our largest piece of software that we use internally. Did a speed detail the other day on 9A. It was only about 3 or 4 hours, but in that short amount of time, almost 30 summonses were written. Pretty good. The high score was 70 something miles, 72 miles an hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. And out of that came a few arrests as well. So you never know what you're going to get. You go fishing with the V&T. Today we did a block the box and right turn on red detail right at Church and South High, which I know is a well-known spot to get bottlenecked in the village. If you're ever going north or south or trying to make a left or right off of Church Street, oftentimes you might get stuck in that intersection. Sometimes people just don't know how to navigate that. So we did a little PSA announcement on the rules of the road, and we were there to make sure that they were being followed. So multiple summonses was written this afternoon, trying to educate and best way we can. Other than that, good.
It was publicly posted, so I don't think I'm speaking out of school, but you and a number of municipalities, since we last met, were involved in a big sting operation. Do you want to discuss that, or is that not something you want to discuss publicly? FBI, multiple municipalities, Ossining was mentioned.
Oh yes, that's a different type of detail. It goes on county-wide. It targets violent and aggressive drivers who wanted for other crimes other than vehicle and traffic infractions. Stolen vehicles, mainly stolen vehicles. People with warrants, a little bit more entailed and a little bit more coordinated throughout the county. Multiple jurisdictions work together to, keep everyone safe. That's what that was about.
Just want to say that it was very well done. I don't recall reading that anybody got hurt, considering it's a multi-municipality, FBI, state. I think it involved everybody. And, our police are involved not just in local. They don't just ticket for speeding, although that's part of what they do, but there's some very serious work also being done by our police departments, so we're grateful for that. Thank you. And we promoted in the mayor message and social media, but there is
Oh,
back-
yes, I forgot to mention that.
Thank you.
Saturday, drug take back day.
There you go.
Uh,
I want to
so-
give a 1-minute synopsis of that.
Sure. Drug take back day. So if anyone has any prescription or really non-prescription medications over the counter as well, vitamins, Tylenol, cough syrup, you got any drugs you want to get rid of, and you please don't throw them in the garbage because they can be harmful to wherever they may end up and or the environment. So you can drop them off here in the court facility. Tulio from Health Smart always joins us as well. And we'll be here, and we'll take all the legal ones and the illegal ones, no questions asked.
Well, you do it all year, but we're spotlighting it the
Correct.
police, not we.
Yeah,
The
it's
police
a- it's a-
spotlighting it Saturday.
Saturday.
So it's also really important because people forget to take the labels off and people can forge things. So
Right.
a good time to clean out the old medicine cabinet. We don't want kids, we don't want animals getting to
Yeah.
these expired or non-expired drugs. So all good. Thank you.
Yeah, for anybody familiar, it's we have that green box. Looks like a mailbox that you put letters in on the corner. That takes takes drugs. You just drop it in that box, and we take care of it from there. So
Right.
it's in essence the same thing as that. Just someone will be here live to accept it, and we generally take in a lot more in one shot.
Right. And if you have any questions or you have family members or anybody else that has questions, this will be the time to also ask the police any questions you might have. Thank you, Chief. Bob, do you have any announcements? That? Okay, we're ready to go.
Okay, organizational announcements. Announcements should be event related only and shall be no longer than 2 minutes in length. Is there anyone in our computer world that would like to talk about a organizational? Please raise your virtual hand. Seeing no one, public comment on agenda items. Visitors are accorded a 4-minute opportunity to address the board on any of the resolutions on the agenda. Is there anyone in our computer world that would like to do that? Please raise your virtual hand. Moving on to visitor recognition. Visitors are accorded a 3-minute opportunity to address the board on issues not relating to the agenda, but of relevance to the common good of the village. Is there anyone in our computer world that would like to do that? I guess I should call it the Zoom world. Anyway, onward to the village board resolutions. Approval of minutes, April 8th, 2026. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Ossining hereby approves the minutes of the April 8th, 2026 regular meeting as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Third.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Approval of voucher detail report. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Ossining hereby approves the voucher detail report dated April 22nd, 2026, in the amount of $610,346.79. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Sorry, what? Approval of the IBWTP voucher detail, which is the water treatment plant. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Ossining hereby approves the IBWTP voucher detail report dated April 22nd, 2026, in the amount of $1,313,241.39. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain?
This was all discussed last week, I believe, in the session.
Okay.
The work session.
Board of Trustees, Adult Use Dispensaries, secret determination of significance negative declaration. Whereas the Village Board of Trustees of the Village of Ossining, located in Westchester County, New York, is proposing a zoning amendments that should permit adult use cannabis retail dispensaries for proposed the proposed action. And whereas the proposed project is located within all districts of the village and hereby referred to as area. And whereas pursuant with 6 NYCRR Part 617.2 AL, the proposed action is classified as a Type 1 action. And now therefore it be resolved that the village board finds that pursuant with Article 8 of the State Environmental Conservation Law and 6 NYCRR Part 617, and based on the review of the EFA Parts 1 and 2, all application materials regarding referrals and consultant reports that were prepared for this action, the village board adopts a negative declaration in connection with the project. And finally, be it resolved that the secret negative declaration shall be in effect on April 22nd, 2026. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
You're not reading the rest of it?
No.
Goes,
Yeah.
okay.
It'll be
Again, as in everything, it's posted on the bulletin board at the clerk's office and available on the webpage. Okay. Board of Trustees, adoption of local law. This will be a roll call vote. Local Law 4-2026, a local law amending Chapter 270 zoning for the Village of Ossining Code. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Ossining, the Village Board, has been considering the adoption of Local Law 2026 entitled a local law amending Chapter 270 zoning by adding Article 22, temporary moratorium on battery energy storage systems. And whereas the public hearing on the proposed local law was held on March 18th, 2026, and members of the public were able to participate both in person and via Zoom platform, as well as by submitting written communications to the Board of Trustees. And whereas a public hearing was closed on March 18th, 2026, and whereas there is no impediments to adopting this local law, now therefore it be resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Ossining hereby adopts this local law 4-2026, and directs that said local law be filed and distributed in accordance with the applicable law. And be it further resolved that pursuant with the New York Village Law, Section 7-706, parentheses 5, the text of the local law 1-2026 shall be, oh, should be 4, pardon me. The text of the local law 4-2026 shall be entered into the minutes of the village board, and be it further resolved that local law 4-2026 shall become effect upon filing this local law with the Secretary of State pursuant with Section 27 of the Municipal Home Rule Law. Do I have a motion to, for the amended resolution?
So moved.
Second?
And I are we on F?
We're on E.
E.
Okay, we're still on E. What's the difference between E and F? Stuart?
E is the best resolution for the moratorium. F is the cannabis resolution.
What's the sunset on this moratorium?
I'm sorry,
What's the sunset on this moratorium?
8 months.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Roll call vote. Trustee White.
Aye.
Trustee Fritchie.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Lopez.
Aye.
And Mayor Levin.
Aye.
Okay.
I just, hold on one second. You know, I was asked to read something. I don't know what the right time is. Trustee Yost wants to comment on moratorium affecting cannabis.
That's the next one.
Okay, thanks. I'll do it during comments.
Okay. F. Board of Trustees, adoption of local law 5-2026, a local law amending Chapter 270 zoning of the Village of Ossining Code. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Ossining Village Board has been considering the adoption of local law 2026 entitled a local law amending Chapter 270 zoning, and whereas a public hearing for the local law was held on April 8th, 2026, and members of the public were able to participate both in person or by Zoom platform, as well as submitting written communications to the Board of Trustees. And whereas the public hearing was closed on April 8th, 2026, and whereas no impediments to adopting this local law, now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Trustees of the Village of Ossining hereby adopts local law for 5-2026 and directs the local law to be filed and distributed in accordance with the applicable law. And now therefore be it resolved that pursuant with New York Village Law, section 7-706 in parentheses 5, the text of the local law shall be entered into the minutes of the village board, and be it further resolved that local law 5-2026 shall become effective upon filing the local law with the Secretary of State to Section 27 of Municipal Rule Law. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, comments. So let me just read something from Trustee Yost, which I think this is the right spot for it, and somebody can tell me if it's the wrong spot for it. He's not able to be here because he is traveling. Rika, I'm unable to attend tonight, but, and Sue, the reason I'm doing this is I'm assuming he doesn't have to print it out, that this will go into
Yep.
the records, which is what he wants. I'm unable to attend tonight, but wanted to share my opinion on the hardship exemption request for the retail property on Main Street. While the adoption of the local law and zoning makes the request moot, I would not have been in favor of granting the exemption. My primary reason is that the hardship was self-created by the applicant. There were 2 documented public meetings where the moratorium was discussed at VBOT, Village Board of Trustees, sessions prior to applicants signing their lease on the property. In my belief, the issue was generated because the applicant did not conduct proper due diligence. Thank you and apologies for not being there in person, Pat Yost. I would say that he's right. Talked about this last week, about this being a moot point. But so much of what we do, which I think Deputy Mayor mentioned and one other person, is also precedence. We create these moratoriums for a very specific reason, which is to get more public engagement, because every once in a while, every decade or a number of years, things change in every community, and we do want to stay current and not reactive. I agree with Trustee Yost. I also want to add that not only were there public meetings, as there are about almost every zoning issue that we address. Some go on for more than 2 years, but certainly a number of times for each of these discussions. And people coming in here with hardships after the fact, after they've discussed and had meetings with staff, sometimes with the mayor, and for sure there were public meetings. So for the record, so people don't think that anything is a surprise, this was discussed. So I just want to share that thought so that it's documented.
There is another,
Mayor, just so you know, that's actually Resolution L.
L.
That's why I asked whether that was
Yeah.
the right. So we'll skip it for the
Yeah.
L. Okay.
But we can just apply it. which
We'll
says
apply,
L,
yeah, I'm not,
But
I
This
wasn't
is-
planning
this
to
is the law.
reread this. That's why I was flipping through the pages, so I
Yeah.
lost track of where we were. Because this topic has been discussed so many times that, and we do have more than one moratorium in place and voting on different moratoriums. So sorry if I was out of place. That was what I was trying to clarify before. Well, you'll just put it though, so it's for the
oh,
record,
yeah.
for the appropriate section. We'll refer to it that it comes in later. We're in the middle of a vote, correct?
We are, and this is for the law itself, for the moratorium, to keep the moratorium, okay? So there's a
no,
roll,
no, it's the law to change the zoning,
change the
Yeah.
zoning. Okay,
please.
yeah, I know.
Look, it's complicated because we have multiple of these out there. And they're all, moratoriums are often zoning.
Okay.
So
This is
let's
to
be
change
clear.
the zoning.
Right.
Let me clarify that. Okay, roll call vote. We have our motion and our second. Trustee Fritchie,
Aye.
Trustee White,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Lopez,
Aye.
Mayor Levin.
Aye.
Thank you. Now you have the law. Okay, Department of Recreation and Park authorized elevator service agreement. Resolved that following review of Corporation Council, the village manager is authorized to sign the April 3rd, 2026 proposal from PK Elevator Corporation, 11 Oval Drive, Suite 174, Icelandia, New York, to maintain the elevator at the community center, and be it resolved that the proposal is for the term of 60 months, which agreement can be renewed for successive 60-month periods, and be it further resolved that the initial price of the service agreement will be $436 per month, plus an additional charge of $14 a month for the digital service package associated with the proposal. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Department of Public Works Engineering Planning Grant. Resolved that upon review of Corporation Council, the village manager is authorized to execute the Engineering Planning Grant, EPG, agreement with New York Environmental Facilities Corporation, NYSFC, and and any other contracts, documents, or instruments necessary to facilitate the EPG project referenced herein, and to fulfill the Village of Ossing's obligations thereunder, and be it further resolved that the Village of Ossining Board of Trustee hereby authorizes and appropriates a minimum 20% local match as required by the Engineering Planning Grant Program for the stormwater
Or
infiltration
and
and
inflow.
inflow evaluation in the amount of $10,000 and based on the total EPG grant award of $50,000, and be it further resolved that source of the local match in any amount in excess of is required of the required match shall be provided by general fund balance. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Board of Trustees authorizing implementation and funding of the first instant 100% of the federal aid eligible costs for the Transportation Federal Aid Project and appropriating funds therefore. Whereas a project for the Route 9 safety enhancements, Cedar Lane to Cedar Place, Village of Ossining, Westchester County, PIN number 8763.06, formerly known as the Route 9 Road Diet, or the project, is eligible for funding under Title 23 U.S. Code as amended that calls for the appropriation of costs such program be borne by the ratio of 80% federal funds and 20% non-federal funds. And whereas the Village of Ossining Board of Trustees adopted a resolution on April 4th, 2023, approving and agreeing to advance the project by making a commitment of 100% of the non-federal share of the cost of preliminary engineering work, and therefore is sequentially was found necessary to undertake additional primary engineering work, not contemptible. Oh God, I'm not having a good night. In the original agreement authorized by a previous resolution, and whereas it has been found necessary to increase the federal and non-federal share of the cost for the additional preliminary engineering work for the project, and whereas the Village of Ossining Board of Trustees continues the desire to advance the project by making a commitment of 100% of the non-federal share of the cost of the preliminary engineering. Now therefore it be resolved that the Village of Ossining Board of Trustees hereby approves the above subject project, including supplemental agreement number 1 to DO 040906, amending project description. Now therefore be it resolved that the Village of Ossining Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village to pay the first instant of 100% of the federal and non-federal share of the preliminary engineering work for the project or portions thereof, and be it further resolved that the sum of $50,000, $440,000 minus the previous $394,000 is hereby appropriated from fund balance to make available to cover the cost of the participation in the above phase of the project. And further be it resolved that in an event of full federal and non-federal share costs of the project exceeds the amount appropriated above, the Village Board of Trustees shall convene as soon as possible with the intentions of appropriating said excess amount upon notification of the village manager. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Anybody want to do a 30-second on this? Because all I hear is federal and non-federal. It sounds to me like everything. Like I don't know what wouldn't be.
It sounds, they've made something relatively simple very complicated.
I'm pretty sure,
yeah.
but let's
So
do the 30-second.
We talked about this last week.
Right.
The DOT had made some changes that required additional engineering design work. So that cost is covered by the grant. However, it changes the allocation for the design work by $50,000. It increases them. That cost is fully covered by the grant. But we do need to show, because it's a drawdown grant, that we've appropriated that funding to be drawn down and then reimbursed.
Okay, except in English, the way I read this is it's whether it's in the grant or not, we're 100% liable. Any
No,
of the cost. Okay.
no, we're 100% liable for the 20% for the match.
Okay.
So only for
Well,
the match.
That's what I thought, but that's not how I'm reading it, but that's
Yeah.
okay, as long as that's what you think
that
it
was the
says, that's
intent.
okay
It's
with me.
100% of the match.
All righty.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Board of Trustees, public hearing request for hardship exemption to T-zone district moratorium. Whereas on November 5th, 2025, Board of Trustees adopted local law 5-2025, amending Chapter 70 zoning by adding a new article 21, moratorium on two-family zones, and whereas the proposed of the local law was to temporarily suspend the processing and approval of application for conditional use permits for the two-family zoning district, and whereas the moratorium is scheduled to expire on July 13th, 2026, and whereas on or about March 16th, 2026, School of Adaptive and Integrative Learning, sale of Faircliff Manor, Inc., at Fairfield Manor, Inc., Fairfield Manor, submitted a application for a hardship exemption to the T zoning district moratorium relating to a property at 25 North Malcolm Street, and whereas Section 270-112C requires a public hearing on any application for the exemption of a moratorium to be held no later than 45 days after the receipt of the completed application, and whereas the application for Ferncliff Manor is considered to be complete, now therefore it be resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Ossining hereby calls for a public hearing to take place on 7:30 p.m. on March 6, 2020, pardon me, May 6, 2026, at the Birdsall Fagan Police Court Facility, 8688 Spring Street, Ossining, New York, or via Zoom, to consider the application of Ferncliff Manor, 1154 Sawmill River Road, Yonkers, New York, for a hardship exempting to the T zoning district moratorium, and therefore be it resolved that members of the public are invited to attend the public hearing in person at the above referenced location, and be it further resolved that members of the public who want to participate in the public hearing remotely shall be available through the Zoom platform, and be it further resolved that comments regarding the application will be accepted by the Board of Trustees at bmt@villageofostingny.gov. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Board of Trustees, request for proposals. Resolved that following review of Corporation Counsel, the village manager is authorized to issue a request for proposals for artists to design public art trim at the Aqueduct Hub, the multimodal transportation hub. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Aye.
you. Board of
Let's
Trustees.
hold up.
Okay, this is
No.
Dell.
Not gonna work. I guess Judge Reisman needs to get into his office.
Yes.
Did you? Good. It'll do wonders for the outtake when we start doing outtakes on comedy reels.
Okay, this is L.
Okay.
Board of Trustees, application for hardship exemption, Grand Potomac Ventures. Whereas in March 2nd, 2026, Grand Potomac Ventures LLC, DBA Green Potomac Panacea, submitted an application pursuant with section 270-103 of the Village Code for the hardship exemption to a moratorium for submission to proceeding the land use approvals for cannabis dispenser, vapor lounges, smoke shops, vape lounges, and vape consumption businesses. And whereas a public hearing on Grand Potomac application was held on April 8th, 2026, at which the public hearing was closed. And whereas on April 22nd, 2026, the Board of Trustees adopted local law 5-2026, which local law included standards applicable to adult use cannabis retail dispensaries and advised use of parking tables for such dispensary. And whereas pursuant with local law 5-2026, adult use retail dispensaries will be permitted in the VC Village Center zoning district, where Grand Potomac was proposing to operate at 159 Main Street. And Therefore, be it resolved that in light of the adoption of Local Law 5-2026, Grand Potomac's application for hardship exemption is dismissed as moot. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And we'll take that, what you
Right,
said.
my comment, if I'll say ditto, and you can put it in here.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, there might be, okay, I'm going to read the smaller one of the two next. Finance, 2025 capital budget adjustments, PJ 2332, 2024 Spring Street lead service line replacement and close year ending year FY 2025. Whereas the village manager wishes to adjust the revenue and expenditure budgets on actual project costs of $135,792.40 for the 2024 Spring Street lead service line replacement capital project 2332, with a transfer from the water fund balance of $21,682.40 to increase the original project budget of $114,100. Now therefore be it resolved that following the capital project and the capital project budget will be adjusted as follows. And again, that table will be available on the webpage and also in the clerk's office. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Finance, 2025 budget adjustments. Whereas the village operating budget,
You back now or happening? What letter are you on?
M,
Okay.
Okay,
M, I have two M's, right?
that's fine. You're back. Okay.
Okay. Whereas the village operating budgets for each fund, department, and item type, 10 for personnel, 20 for equipment, 40 for contractual, for fiscal year 2025 are required to be balanced by December 31st, 2025. Now therefore be resolved that the adopted budgets for the general, water, sewer, and Section 8 funds are modified in 2025 to appropriate unexpended appropriations, increased revenue, and accumulated and available fund balance as follows. Again, it's a long chart, and it will be available on the bulletin board in the clerk's office or on the webpage. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Just like to say, for those that do like detail, it was discussed in detail, even though Dale, I see you're on, but it was discussed in detail in the work session, with what they're designed for, on video from unedited from last week. It's also been discussed in budgets and all that, but in detail last week.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Finance 2025 capital budget adjustment, PJ 20. Oh, that's
No.
the one I read.
Yeah,
Okay.
you already did
Oh,
that.
that's right. I apologize. Wow. Okay, Finance 2025 adjustment of 2022 improvements for the Joseph G. Caputo Community Center capital project, interproject transfers, and close. Whereas village management established the capital project in accordance with the project resolution approved on May 18, 2022, to establish a capital project for various improvements to the Joseph G. Caputo Community Center, and adjusted the project to $1,584,639 on April 4th, 2023. The project budget requires an additional it requires an adjustment of $1,836,673.15 to reflect actual costs. The project adjustment will be funded by inter-project transfers from completed projects to be closed, including the 2022 improvements for the Joseph G. Caputo Project 2270. And now therefore be resolved that the capital projects and the capital project budgets are adjusted as follows. And again, the debits and the credits are all on these pages and can be seen at the clerk's office or in the or on the webpage, or they were discussed at the meeting, at the previous meeting. Do I have
Last
a
week.
motion?
So moved.
And
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Finance, 2025, Capital Budget Establishment, PJ 2376, 2025, Water Infrastructure Improvements. Whereas the village manager wishes to establish a revenue and expenditure budgets for 2025 water infrastructure improvements project funded by a transfer from water fund settlement revenues received of $1,431,630 to fund ongoing water infrastructure improvements. Now therefore be it resolved that the capital project and the capital project budgets are adjusted as follows. Again, there's an increase and it tells all the things and will be available on the webpage or on the bulletin board at the clerk's office. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any continuing business of the board? New business of the board. Board of Trustees authorizing the village manager to sign an agreement with Riverkeeper, Inc. Regarding the Riverkeeper Sweep plan for May 2nd, 2026. Resolved that upon review of Corporation Council, the village manager is authorized to sign a license agreement with Riverkeeper, Inc., 20 Sector Road, Ossining, New York, Secor Road, Ossining, New York, 10562, regarding the Riverkeeper Sweep plan for May 2nd, 2026 at the Henry Gordine Park. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
There
Aye.
is one more new business.
There is? Yeah.
Yes. So I wanted to take this opportunity to thank Phil Maria, who was on our planning board, and he did have to resign before his term expired. But we do thank him for his work on the planning board, and we appreciate that. But in the meantime, we would like to I would like to appoint Pam Nelson to the Planning Board and Board of Architectural Review to fulfill an unexpired term left by Phil, ending in December 26th.
It ends, so filling in for the remaining term.
Filling in for
Got
that,
it.
yes.
Sounds great. Questions?
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh. Do we have to vote on that, Karen, or no? Okay. Do we have exec session?
Nope.
Nothing?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. One of our shorter meeting, 8:16. And we have a meeting next Wednesday, even though it's a 5th, and it is, no?
Work session.
We think we'll ask Bob in a minute. I think we are. We're almost done. We share the courtroom with the judges. Okay. Everybody, have a good night. Thank you.